Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of corporate filings. Today we're diving into a report from Acadian Asset Management, and trust me, this one has a surprise appointment that might make you wonder if they reshuffled the whole executive deck. We're looking at a report that tells us about a change in leadership, some updates to the company's rules, and how the shareholders voted on important matters. Before we get started, if you like getting straight info from these corporate reports, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you join our Discord. The link is in the description. First things first, the earliest event noted in this report happened on May 13, 2025. This is the date to keep in mind as we go through the details. Now let's talk about the big news, a change in the executive suite. The company appointed Scott Hines as their Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. He's starting on May 19, 2025. This means he's also taking on the role of the main financial officer. However, Christina Whiter is staying on as the Principal Accounting Officer. So who is Scott Hines? He's 50 years old, and before joining Acadian Asset Management, he was the Chief Financial Officer of KeyCorp's Commercial Bank. Before that, he was at State Street Corporation for 5 years, working on corporate strategy and investor relations. He also has experience as an investment banker at JP Morgan. He clearly has a strong background in finance. Let's talk money. Mr. Hines will get a base salary of $450,000 per year. Plus he can get a bonus, and the target bonus is $1.5 million. That's a pretty significant potential bonus. The bonus will be paid in cash and in company stock that he can't sell right away. Those stocks vest or become fully his over 3 years, as well getting the usual benefits like health insurance and a 401k. If the company lets him go without a good reason, he'll get severance pay equal to a year's salary and health benefits for a year, as long as he signs a release of claims, meaning he agrees not to sue the company. And if the company lets him go without a good reason, he'll get severance pay equal to a year's salary and health benefits for a year, as long as he signs a release of claims, meaning he agrees not to sue the company. He's also subject to some agreements about not stealing employees, not speaking badly about the company, and keeping company information secret. These are fairly standard protections for the company. Next up, let's look at changes to the company's rules or bylaws. On the same day, May 13, 2025, the board approved some updated bylaws. Basically, they're updating the documents to reflect the company's name change from BrightSphere Investment Group Inc. to Acadian Asset Management Inc. and making some other small changes. Now let's get into what the shareholders voted on at their annual meeting. This happened on May 13, 2025, and they did it as a virtual meeting. The important date here is March 19, 2025. If you own stock on this date, you were allowed to vote, and there were over 37 million shares that could vote, and over 33 million were represented at the meeting, meaning they had enough people to make decisions. First, the shareholders voted on who should be on the board of directors. They elected Robert Chaussee, Andrew Kim, John Paulson, Barbara Treby, and Kelly Young. They will serve until the next annual meeting in 2026. Let's check out the vote numbers. The votes for Robert Chaussee was about 31.9 million. Votes against was 72,394, and abstention John Paulson got 30.1 million votes for and 3.8 million votes against. John Paulson got 34 million votes for and 355,907 to Barbara Treby got 31.9 million against. Barbara Treby got 31 million votes for and 355,972 against. Next, the shareholders voted to approve KPMG as the company's independent auditor for the year ending December 31, 2025. At the votes for were 33.5 million and votes against were 32,013. This is pretty standard stuff. Usually, shareholders agree with the board's choice of auditor. Finally, there was a vote on executive pay. This is where shareholders get to give their opinion on how much the company's top executives are binding, meaning the company doesn't have to change anything based on the vote, but it sends a message. And votes for were 31.9 million and votes against were 145,868. And that's pretty much it for the main points of this report. So what does this all mean? Well, the appointment of a new CFO is a big deal, especially someone with experience at major financial institutions. The shareholders seem to be on board with the company's direction based on the votes at the annual meeting. Looking at these moves together, Acadian Asset Management seems to be setting itself up for future growth and strengthening their financial leadership. The executive pay seems to be well received by the shareholders, and however, we need to keep an eye on how the new CFO's strategies play out and whether the company can continue to keep its shareholders happy. Alright, that's our breakdown of Acadian Asset Management's latest filing. What's your take on these moves and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives, and don't forget to check out our Discord channel in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.